after KT Rolster versus Hanwha Esports Game 1. Hanwha Esports outclassed KT Rolster in every department. They stepped up so much. So what's your take on the draft? KT Rolster wanted to outclass the opponents based on the lane priority. But Hanwha Esports, well, they had a little bit of a losing matchup in some lanes, but they can make setups for kills. And if they can execute it, they will start the snowball going. Graves and also Azir has huge priority in the mid and jungle. And also they are really good at turret dives and also 2v2 and 2v1 with the Mordekaiser pick. However, Gangplank was a really nice counterpart into Mordekaiser. Because Mordekaiser is a really good champion, they could balance out their comp. However, Graves is not having a really good win rate here in the LCK, so KT Rolster, they really needed to come up with a very precise plan for Graves' early game.
또 영미 조합이 유칼 선수의 아지르를 잡아내면서 달라진 한화.
Let's take a look at how Youngjae and Miru got a kill onto Azir. Yukal was trying to spot the opponent jungler, so that was a very nice move. He even cleared out the control ward. However, he used his Q skill to counter jungle or steal away some of the Raptor camps from Volibear. But he wasn't 100% sure where Miru can come in. So that was a really not a good decision for Yukal to make. Some of the rookie mistake that can happen, but Yukal is no longer a rookie here in the LCK. And we also pointed out that Hanwha Esports is really good at making some plays and skirmishes, utilizing their ability. Miru showed a very perfect proficiency on the Silas champion. So Hanwha Esports learned how to snowball the leads into the later phase of the game. Graves popped the Aspire's Bloom, giving the opponents the information that they are rotating for the blue buff. So Youngjae and Miru cleared out the vision around the mid lane and rotated to the bottom lane. Silas took a little bit of a weird detour, but he now finally went back to the bottom lane, avoiding most of the visions from the blue side. Yukal was not in a close proximity to cover that dive attempt from the most of the Hanwha Esports players. So Miru was at the first place going for that blue buff at the first place, but he rotated to the bottom lane, so maybe this could be a call from the bottom deuce on the side of Hanwha Esports. Now it's time to check out the player of the game on the side of Hanwha Esports. Maybe Youngjae or Miru, so let's check out. It's gonna be Miru on Silas. Second POG of the splits. He especially did a great work with that hijacked Azir ultimate. We can really tell that Miru is really proficient, especially in that Azir versus Silas matchup. And this time around, Hanwha Esports overall, they looked really sharp, making their decisions. Azir used to be the side having the priority in that matchup, but Miru pulled the story around. And Miru was also really smart, using his E skill to land the stun whenever Azir was casting his ultimate, because he has a little bit of motion stop at that moment. Now Hanwha Esports is looking to pick up the second win of the second round robin, so let's check out game number 2, KT Rolster versus Hanwha Esports.
Thank you, Ji-sun, as always, for the translation, as 12 out of 12. We've had a lot of votes today that I think should have been unanimous, but we finally got one. here for Miru, as this one was pretty obvious. He did make the enemy mid laner look quite sad, and he started it off. His team ended it.
Yeah.
As they did bully UCal to the very end. And from what I can tell, I don't see any subs, actually, on the side of KT. UCal's coming back, Malrong's coming back, Smeb still in the top lane, which is very confusing, LS. I do not get it.
Yeah, it's definitely strange, especially because the manner in which they lost is very tilty. But everything was just looking very off. I mean, they still seem like they're in such high spirits. And I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is after that game. You can see QV scrolling through the Riot stories, looking for Yone, but we're not on that patch.
Yeah.
What's going on
sorry,
there?
Smeb. Maybe next time. Maybe next season. We'll see. Hanwha Life up against KT here in game number 2. As Hanwha Life will be on blue side this time around. They were able to get that counter pick with the GP and the Mordekaiser on the red side, which is funny because we have a lot of teams that don't utilize that red side counter pick, but Hanwha Life was able to do it. Would like to see that from more teams.
And Jace getting banned away by Hanwha Life. KT now. Okay, Caitlyn left open. Will they? Yeah, okay. It's going to be snap picked up immediately. Caitlyn now 2-2. 50% win rate, Valdez.
Yeah, nice.
Which means that she's about to go under or over.
What do you think?
Quick math.
Under or over?
Ooh. I'm going to say...
Let's wait for the draft, maybe.
Nope.
No?
I'm going to say over.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, there you go.
What? The salty run back.
Yeah, he's laughing about it, too. Coach immediately comes over. He's like, you sit down. You change that.
By the way, is
right
that
now.
under her shirt? You see on the arm pad, is that Facebook? I have no idea. It's it's written as the slang for Facebook, but I don't know if there's something called like Paybook.
There is.
There is something called Paybook.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's probably Paybook then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. that would make
Probably
a lot
Paybook,
more sense.
yeah.
Okay. Written in Korean. As Nar is being blind picked.
Nar?
Kennen. They're both Yordles. What is going on with me? Lost sanity after that game, yeah.
You've lost it. It's over.
Oh, man.
And then, of course, Alistair to go alongside of him. No, of course, I'm just kidding. It's Thresh. Thresh is here, and Thresh, we've seen a lot, actually, into the Bard. It's one of those options that, Bard, he's very shifty.
Yeah.
Right? He's got a lot of ways to get around. He's very fast, but if you can lock him down in combo and then trap, it can be obnoxious up against a Bard player.
Ashe now coming in. And so we got a bit of a difference down here in bot lane. Let's see what ends up changing with the Thresh now replacing the Morgana. See what KT is going to elect to ban away here. So many things are just wide open. These are the spots where it gets really hard to actually allocate bans. They ban away Sylas.
Renekton. No, they're not going to ban Renekton. They have Kennen. TF is going to come along here and be banned away. No mid laners have been selected just yet. I don't think we're going to be seeing mid Caitlyn or Kennen or anything like that. Mid Ashe back in the day. No more Volibear for Youngjae this time around, so I'm curious to see what he's going to play for his third game. Of course, he did play the one game recently.
Well, Vladimir
was subbed in against Down.
is now going to be banned away. And Vladimir is pretty good against Kennen. Can really just hold him and grapple him and then just outscale him very, very hard. Garen is being hovered. I do not think...
Oh, boy.
Okay, Lucian is going to be locked in here for KT. Now, this requires a very big mage to come in because Ninja Tab Eyes are so horrifying against KT right now. Graves, Ashe, and Lucian.
That's insane.
It is, it's a bit of a bad look. And when you factor in that Kennen is going to get Seeker's Arm Guard as well, you sit there and you're like, well, how does Graves actually deal damage? Trundle strikes me as weird. Now, if you really want an interesting jungle pick here on B5, it's looking a bit like a Rammus game.
What?
It's actually good here.
Yeah, you think so?
I really do.
Okay.
I think the way he can itemize build and what he does, plus the fact that Kate and Azir already outrange everyone, you don't really need to worry about him too much. And all of these lanes are self-sufficient. So, I think that we've had like 2 spots in the last couple of weeks in LCS, LEC, LCK, where I feel like Rammus
I thought it was
could have...
Moose, by the way.
Well, listen, I've gotten a lot of complaints. Okay.
Okay, not Ramoose.
Would have been quite interesting to see. Everyone is actually still affected by the Ninja Tab Eyes.
Yeah.
So even though there's an Echo and a Bard, that item is still super good.
Yeah, you can itemize differently to get around it. You can get cleanse on your Caitlyn. You can build Mikhail's eventually, and then just everybody stack Ninja Tab Eye.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to be in for a fantastic game.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it should be a pretty interesting one. Cube should be having the time of his life up in top as long as he survives first recall. That is all that he has to be worried about. Now, Lucian has been getting buffed. One of his bigger buffs came in 10-16, so this is not 10-16. It's not the buff to his Q and the buff to his R. That is not present here. Trundle only has to match counter gank everything on Graves, even though Graves is beating him in a vacuum, which is why Trundle is such a peculiar pick. That's why I was suggesting, I mean, you're getting into territories where even like Malphite jungle starts becoming like somewhat passable here.
Yeah, well, he got trapped by Trapdoll. It happens to the best of us. As here we go, guys, we're going into game number 2. This time Hummel Life on the blue side, KT on the red side. At least he has a cool Trundle skin, so you can give that to him. And they are looking for a little bit of a play here. Nope, just hanging out. Not going to invade or anything like that.
Oh, and Ignite Graves yet again. And he's already not very mobile in this team comp. Especially in the later stages. I mean, things get very, very rough later on. I am surprised Kennen didn't go with more sustain rune. Cuvée, honestly, the moxie on this guy by taking Spellbook here against Smeb up in top. And you can see Azir just going for lots of sustain. The Electrocute strikes me as weird. Hail of Blades gives a lot more lane power.
Yeah.
And then it scales better. So I'm not sure why the Electrocute, because Azir doesn't need to win his lane against Echo. But if he is going to win it, a lot of it's going to be through auto attacks and just spacing.
Yeah, it does seem a bit confusing. That stun is going to miss. Exhaust doubly used here. The 2-man play as Viper is going to take an immense amount of damage, but they're able to chip back against aiming. Kind of an even trade towards the end, but a nice little stun there by Tucson.
The thing is that Bard's able to sustain this back up.
Yeah.
Much more effectively than Thresh and Caitlyn. But Viper and Lehens, they get the first shove, and Trundle, I mean, again, the onus is not on him to gank. It is only to match and counter gank, and then outscale. Viper and Lehens, they're going to ding level 2 first. Nothing's going to be done with it, though. Aiming and Tushin in a pretty safe spot. You ever play Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, well,
That was-
I played
that-
like the original, like the Sega
Okay.
and like the arcade game.
Do you know who
Yeah.
Cyrax is?
Sounds familiar.
The yellow robot? Because, I mean, that's what this Bard skin looks like. Looks like Cyrax found his way into a bakery.
Kind of looks like Blitzcrank.
That, yeah, you know, maybe Blitzcrank before he, like...
You said yellow robot, and that's
Yeah.
the first thing I thought of. This is almost like human Blitzcrank? Not human, but like, I don't know, like mammal version of Blitzcrank? You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
All right. I can see that, too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And Smab doesn't actually go for a cheater. He's just playing the lane out normally, and these aren't really accruing any advantages. He's only up 2 CS at the end of the day on the first 3 waves.
Yeah.
We'll see what else ends up happening. Viper, so he's going to shove in. That's wave 4, and okay, we have a cheater. Recall coming in for Caitlyn.
Oh, double trades coming in here.
Yeah.
Legends was just waiting alongside of Youngjae.
And you can see the Ashe and the Bard. They have to be cautious. And this is one of the benefits of a cheater, is they can't just treat it as if you're not there. They have to respect that you could be there, even though you're probably not. And so Caitlyn gets the call, refillable pot, comes back to lane, full HP, full mana, and now pulls wave 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and Ashe doesn't have teleport.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden, Viper just has better combat stats, more sustain, better lane position, hangs out with the Phyllis dude.
And look at this. He might actually just get the kill as well. There you go. It looks like a flash net to finish him off at the end of that all. So, oh man, this is even better. And I think you can just sit back. You don't have to push. Looks like he might be pushing though. He was doing really well up until that moment. Youngjae's gonna come in here and really try to push the issue in the mid lane as UCal.
And he's doing this because UCal doesn't want to expend his teleport here. So he joins him up in mid lane to help the Azir, or Miru, sorry.
Yeah.
Miru doesn't want to expend his teleport. He wants to retain teleport advantage. So by having Trundle come in and shove out with him, he's able to save his teleport and not be locked up. If he still TPs, I am going to be very upset. No, he's not. He's going to Shuri.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
5-hit.
All right, finally.
Wow.
Some proper lane manipulation.
Almost like lane manipulation works.
Now,
I
Lucian.
mean,
all right.
You always talk about it, but I just I never believed it until this moment. Hama Life versus KT. Can't believe it.
That's what it takes. They're gonna get Infernal.
Yeah, they will.
Ooh, oh, oh, oh.
Whoa. Now, we've seen this
I wish
before.
I could do, like, opera noises and... Sorry, you know, like...
If this were a musical, you would break out into song right now.
I am hearing Final Fantasy music in
Yeah.
my ears right now. Return to Xanarkin.
Now, it would be even better if he just sat there and froze it and didn't push back. But the last time he pushed it back to go pick up a pickaxe. So he's getting more value there, but you can deny a lot from Ashe here. But with Bard meeting up, and I don't know, I would like to see the bottom lane. Looks like he is freezing.
Yeah, it does actually look like
I'm
Kate.
not sure.
Yeah, he is! You are the reason you can't have nice things.
You said yes, he is, and the second that happened, he switched to his view and he pushed the wave.
Nope. That is not a real thing.
잡았다. Dang.
Got him.
나 노플이야. I have no flat.
I have no flat, yeah. And Viper's mouse really good. Always a treat to
Oh.
watch. Okay.
Nice.
Gets the cleanse out.
Yeah, this is a pretty good start for Hama Life in terms of the lanes. We see that there was a trade of ultimates in the mid lane.
Yeah.
But the Infernal did go the way of KT.
And Miru is actually ahead in the CS department here against the Echo. He's also maintaining a lot of pressure in mid. Cuvee, I mean, he's lost one turret plate, but it's really not the end of the world. He's only down 3 CS to Smeb's Lucian.
Yeah.
This is not what you would expect. And remember, Cuvee hasn't even gone back yet, which I don't know why he swapped to heal prior to going back, because around, couple of minutes ago, he had enough gold for Seeker's arm guard. I have no idea what he is trying to get on his reset or why he's being this greedy with it. And this only actually ends up benefiting Lucian because when you have Seekers earlier, it really stifles the opponent's ability to lane against you reliably. But if he gets a delayed recall and then Lucian gets a delayed recall, Seekers doesn't have as much potency. So I'm really curious what is going on up here.
Yeah, and I wonder when we're going to find out, too, because we see that Smeb is going to back here. Maybe that'll be Q-base Q to back. I guess maybe if he wants to play really risky, he'll try to buy parts of a... Okay, well, that's going to fly it through the middle, but the Thresh is still dead as he does not have Flash, and the Bard stun was good. But they see Graves, bottom lane, they say immediately, we can try to take this down. They can't trade for a Cloud Drake or anything like that because it's down, and they should get it.
Yeah, with mid lane resetting and Graves running through mid, Echo should go over with Lucian, zone the Trundle off, and then Herald resets. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you would ever start the Herald. It's 8.5 minutes in the game, and unless you can solo it without pulling your laners, it's just such a joke of an objective, especially if you're out scaling the opponent.
Or we're just gonna fight. Young Jay is going to go down. Balrog taking an immense amount of damage, but he's gonna get the Lantern actually from way downtown, but Cuvée getting exhausted here should still be enough to take him down. As Tucson locks up Lehens. Gonna get him there. With the ultimate as Lehens now is in a terrible spot, and that is going to be a big swing in gold over to the side of KT, who used Jedi mind tricks to summon them to the fight, and were able to take him out.
Well, it definitely strange here, as there was no reason to start the Rift Herald ever when so many of the jungle camps were up. I mean, let's just take a look at this. So he's doing the same thing that so many other junglers have done. He just randomly starts the wolves before the Grom. So the pathing is all just misaligned. And he sees the Graves down in bottom, but if you hit tab, you can count Graves as CS. And if you've been following him, you probably know, well, he doesn't have any business on the left-hand side. Trundle goes down right away. If Graves went down a little bit sooner, Trundle passive would end up coming in. And things could be a little bit nicer. Tushin here as well. Tempered Fate, really nice magical journey. Tags Miru with the exhaust just to guarantee that he doesn't get any funny ideas. And now coming back into live, KT, they're in a really commanding position here. They have the first Infernal Dragon. Cloud's coming up next, and yeah, this is that stunted recall, by the way, with the Kennen. He picks up the Seekers, and then he gets a Hextech Revolver. And Lucian, with his kills, Blade of the Ruin King. So, I mean, why do you have Seekers now? Well, not why, but it's not as effective.
Yeah, he could have gotten it a bit earlier, and potentially had his teleport earlier as well, on time for another objective or something like that. Maybe some kind of dive. And yeah, this is going to be really difficult for him as he's just being called down underneath the turret. The stun, though, isn't enough.
No, it's not. Oh, Pillar?
Yeah, I think he should get him here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big shutdown.
Yeah, locks it down, and he doesn't have to push this. Oh, he's going to leave it pushing. Wow. There's a lot of good lane manipulation in this game.
Yeah, there actually is. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times. I'm getting excited. I really don't know what that was.
I think it's one of those bluffs again. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Let's say that was a bluff. He's really trying to put the fear. He was trying to strike the fear into the heart of his opponent. That's really what it was. The Art of War.
Ooh. Have you ever read it?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not. I don't even know if that quote is from The Art of War.
This is really interesting. Kennen, even though there's MR on the enemy team, and they probably should get MR in the later stages, went for Sork Pen Boots over Ninja Tab Eyes, despite every member on the enemy team having on-hit effects. It's definitely an interesting purchase. And Mountain Dragon is coming up next. That is a super good dragon for Hanwha Life. Not so much for KT.
Yeah.
But, I mean, KT, when I say not so much for KT, obviously, KT, they would have loved to have rolled Ocean. Is pretty much just what I mean by that.
Yeah. It's all about comparisons.
Yep.
In that case. And yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, the game has kind of slowed down after the Rift Herald play. KT, they still have it, so we have to see where they want to use this here. You were talking about using it into Azir turrets. We talked about that in game 1. They didn't end up doing it. But let's see where Malrong wants to drop it this time around. Looks like maybe the top lane. Lucian has already taken out a bunch of these plates. This is what I was saying, where you try to get down to 3 or 2 plates and finish off the turret early.
And boom, it's going to go into the turret. Not going to get the last plate, but still, they have a 1,000 gold advantage, which isn't the end of the world if you're a Hanwha Life fan. They do have those dragons, which are pressuring. Now they're going to get this turret, so Kennen can now try to execute a tier 2 freeze, and we'll see if that is actually going to be a possibility here. Graves and Lucian, though, on the flip side, they're doing something very nice. They're making sure to escort the wave into the turret. Going to go over now on Sir Grompulus of Croaksworth. you don't know his full name?
No, you mentioned it one time a while ago.
Yeah, I've blanked.
Of Croaksworth. Wasn't,
like Sir Grompulus
was I,
Ribbington of Croaksworth or something. That is...
I don't know if the Croaksworth is correct, but the rest of it, I think you're spot on. So well done there. And Kennen was kind of in an awkward spot where there were 2, 3 enemies right next to him, and there was a pretty big wave coming in, so he didn't want to freeze it in that case. He just let it come into the turret safely and accepted the minions. Now he's going to look to push out as his lane is pushing.
Well, Hanwha Life just waiting until that mountain dragon is going to come up. Call was completed, by the way, by Viper already, so that's helping a little bit in that department. Now, Caitlyn is going to be very strong at this mountain dragon fight. We'd also assume that Azir is going to have his Nashor's Tooth by that team fight. And it should be a game-deciding fight, mostly. 2,000 gold lead still in favor of KT. A lot of that on Lucian. So we'll have to see how they manage to utilize him in the team fight. Cuvée just continuing to come up here. Playing ping pong with the wave.
Yeah. Trades here between these 2 millionaires. Just a little bit of back and forth. Nobody, by the way, not a single person on the side of Hanwha Life has purchased a Ninja Tabby item yet.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Not one.
All things considered.
And we're 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Right? This is... We should have some completed tier 2 boots by this time.
Youngjae gets Kindle Gem. Is valuing the 10% CDR over having the boots at the mid-game stage. It just really does befuddle me here. As 25 seconds, I really hope they don't think about giving it up. Cuvée just swapped to go. Oh, no, okay. He's activated Ghost.
Yeah.
In order to run back to that wave, but now have teleport available. The alternative here is you actually just take the Ghost to the fight, win the fight, or lose it, and then TP top.
That's one way to handle it, as Trundle in a really awkward spot, but they're going to get the box down and the lantern to get him to safety. And that's a nice amount of burst damage that's already laid down. You can see that the Azir is just going to back. He has TP, but there's really not much vision control, so I guess KT is just going to take it as now Cuvée being tortured a little bit underneath this wave.
Yeah, Mountain Dragon, though, just going over, so Hanwha Life waiting until next year to try to look for something. I don't know exactly what they're waiting for. It's just sort of like slowly watching paint dry at this point. Caitlyn was pretty strong. They did take an enormous amount of damage, but now they're under so much pressure because of Soul Point.
Yeah, the Soul Point is really the issue. I mean, if they hadn't given every single Drake over to KT, they would have bought themselves a lot of time to try to get Caitlyn a couple extra items, try to get the Azir some items, have them scale a bit, even let the cannon hit some really important items, such as the Zhonya's or some extra damage, so that they might have a better team fight. But because of this pressure, now it's like, well, do we just give it over? Do we just give it away? Try to sit back and scale more? Do we try to fight and potentially lose the game in a Mountain Drake Soul team fight where we give over our lives and also the Mountain Soul?
Yeah, I mean, this is where stuff gets a little bit weird. So, I mean, they're locking the 2,000 gold deficit pretty reliably. And I really like the Hex Drinker out of Smeb because Trundle, the longer that the game goes, he just starts stealing more magic over time because Cinderhulk keeps ramping up, Subjugate gets extra points into it, yada yada yada. And so the Hex Drinker has a lot of value against Kennen, Thresh, Trundle, and Kennen. So it's a nice MR pickup for him along with those Merc Tread boots. And I really like the itemization out of Graves. I mean, we should have seen this last game.
Yeah.
Where lethality instantly and the oppressiveness of Umbleglaive is mostly in that everyone's winning on the side of KT and they just constantly keep removing vision. And Graves will hit like a truck, so we'll see what ends up happening. And I mean, it's getting a lot of benefit as well because of the absent to Shopkeeper on the side of Hanwha Life.
Yeah. They don't really have much in their inventory here. Looks like the Seeker's Arm Guard was, of course, picked up much earlier on, but now he's going into Blasting Wand, so he's not going to complete the Zhonya's or anything like that. May pick up a stopwatch before the Mountain Drake fight. I'm curious to see how he's going to try to maximize his efficiency in the next fight. Meanwhile, the rest of the lane's kind of just pushing around. And so much vision denial. I mean, they don't have anything over here in the red side. They have a couple of control wards over in their blue side jungle. So they have some control there at least. But I doubt they want to try to, use that to try to maneuver into a fighting position at this point in the game.
Just under 2 minutes until the mountain is going to be coming up. And I don't know where anyone is really going. I think Trundle is trying to go towards the Warmogs. So there's that, I guess.
Treads.
Okay, he picks up...
Merc Treads. Will we have any single person on this team by Ninja Tabby? Now, we've only got one member left.
Why does he need Merc Treads?
I don't have an answer for you. I don't think there's any reason to get it against Ashe, Graves, Lucian.
What?
No.
I'm really trying to think of it here, and I can't come up with an answer. Well, this is definitely something. I mean, I'm sure someone would they would argue in bad faith and say it's for the Echo stun or the Ashe arrow or something with Bard, but
or like Ashe slow or something.
I really don't get it, especially because Trundle, his main goal is just to tank.
Yeah, we understand
everyone else.
that there is CC in their lineup.
Yeah.
We're saying that Ninja Tabby is about 7,000 times better. Okay, it's about the comparison. And that's really the point. But here we go. We have this Mountain Drake fight starting up as Mira is going to face check, and he's dead. So there you go, as they're going to lock him down. We see the flank coming in from Kennen. He was spotted, I believe. Maybe not, though. He might have been able to skirt around there. Well, he's going to be spotted now anyway. So this should be the Mountain Soul going the way of KT, as Cube, he's going to be stuck now. The rest of Hanwha Light is running north. I don't think they can run at a Baron or anything, so they're kind of just lost at sea for what it's worth right now. They're just going to take this free kill onto Cube and then take down the Mountain Soul. And herein lies the problem. This is what we were talking about before. Do you try to fight over the Mountain Drake? Do you just give it away? Both of them can lead to some very dire situations. Of course, getting caught out before the fight even begins is probably the worst of all of the scenarios. as Azir bot Mark Treads.
I mean, it's pretty indefensible. I mean, I don't know totally what to say. Is he buying it there because he just got caught by Echo, and that's the conclusion? I mean, the recency bias is definitely strong here. So,
also,
Viper,
their Thresh is first item Mikhail's. So, like, and they have lanterns, they have abilities. He has dashes to get out of CC. And, well, Viper might be in some trouble here. He's going to take the lantern, though. So it's going to be just fine. Now, the game isn't doomed from here. Obviously, there have been some egregious mistakes made by the side of Hanwha Life, but they still have Caitlyn Azir, and we've seen crazier things happen.
I feel like there's that GIF of Childish Gambino with the pizza boxes.
Yeah.
Everything's on fire.
Runs into the room.
Oh, man. Well, this is definitely a game. You are right. Caitlyn and Azir are rapid sustained damage rather than just being combo-centric. And so in that regard, those are the kind of champions that are good against Mountain, because it's not like you're going in and out of team fights and opponents just keep getting multiple Mountain Soul activations. So yes, both of them are good, but at the same time, there's so much of a disaster surrounding them everywhere. I don't really know what to think. If Hanwha Life actually finds a way to win this, this is truly something else. I mean, we did see an Infernal Soul comp earlier really struggle, but this team composition, I think, is much more able to thread the needle at the end.
Yeah. And, I mean, you've got some really fed members on the side of KT. You've got 4 1-on-1 Lucian, who is 2.5 items. He's probably got some gold in those pockets at the same time. You have the very well-farmed Graves, who is up to 200 CS, has a couple of kills and assists in his pocket, so he's going to be nearing a 3rd item as well. Echo, of course, on 2 items, going to be looking to scale up himself. And really, I think the only saving grace for the side of Hanwha Life will be the Caitlyn, who does have the most farm in the game, has the 1 kill, and it's Viper, so he's really the ace in the hole, right? If you will. That's a nice little play, but Smeb is going to get Mikhail's out of the hook.
And, well, Hanwha Life, I am not really sure what they're hoping to be their final break point.
They're hunkering down.
Yeah, they're waiting.
Defense.
They're waiting for Azir to hit 2 items. We are at 25 minutes into this game, by the way. Azir does not have 26. Azir does not have his 2nd item yet. This is so stunted.
You should definitely have it now, though.
Oh yeah, he has it on recall. It's gonna be Luden's, which is, it's something. But oh!
Oh, it could not be any better. Oh, that's perfect. That's just the cap. That's the cherry on top right there. That's just so good. I love it. That's going to be a little bit of an arrow as Viper. What was that ultimate? He's just going to get denied from the backside here. UCal is angry and looking for some dinner. He's going to pick up 3 kills now. And they might just push in. The Trundle went on a little journey up into the enemy jungle. And they'll at least pick up the inhibitor from here.
Inhibitor is falling. Azir is, well, I mean, not really.
Yeah, they're just getting zapped down. And that should be this game 2 going the way of KT, and we will be going into a game 3 after all of this, as KT are able to eventually take the win. See some happy faces on their sides as they finally are able to overcome. Tucson doesn't look too happy though. Rest of the team feeling pretty good, at least, with the win.
I'm trying to think who to give MVP to. There's no way to give it to Boris.
Just write Boris on top. I think that's the only selection, right? Let's.
I'm gonna go with Bard. Brad is.
I like that. Yeah, Brad is. That's definitely a good choice. I agree. Boris is he's strong. So is Brad. As I would imagine now that they won without subbing in anyone else, that KT won't bring out any other subs. I'm curious to see if anything will change on the side of Hanwha Life, though. As I don't think anyone moved anything. I don't see any keyboards or anything out of place on the side of Hanwha Life, which is the side that we are sitting on right now, actually. So, get an inside look to that. As just going over the game, they're like, well, guys, there's an item. It's called Ninja Tabi. Let me just search that up for you guys here. Might be able to help against what KT were packing.
I don't know. I mean, from the level of decision making that the jungler made that game to the itemization across the board, everything. It was just. It was definitely on fire.
Oh boy.
And Seb feeling a
Oh no.
Oh no.
We don't even, so the Riot has done all of our junglers a favor, and they've just said, well, we're not going to show the exact numbers anymore, but it's in the 600 range, okay? Whether it's 623, 612, we don't know. It could be lower, it could be higher. But we're just saying that it was within the 600 range, so that was a bit unfortunate. The Trundle in that game, totally invisible, so it makes sense. He was able to do absolutely zero against that composition. So guys, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, the final game of the night.
미카엘 있어 얘네. 야 좋다 이거. 싸움 좋아. 나이스 캐넨. 바론 갈래? 야 게임 끝내자. 할 수 있어? 오케이. 다이브 하자 다이브. 게임 끝내. 뒤에 트런들 뒤에. 필요 없을 듯. 야 얘도 나처럼 클린즈 안 썼어 죽었다. 나이스.
아 근데 억제기 깨고 바론이 낫지 않냐?
바론이 더 나을 것 같은데.
바론 가자. 이거 라인 다 지워질 것 같은데.
네네. 에코라 막지 않아? 에코가 들어가면
한번 해보자.
다이브 하자 다이브. 사람이가. 라인 들어갈 때 해주라. 라인 들어갈 때. 야야야. 빠진다 이러.
아이만 풀켜볼게.
잡았다.
아비 노플.
끝났다 게임.
아니 아직 몰라.
끝났다.
노플. 아직 들어오겠다 이거. 아직 노플. 잡았고.
나이스.
좋았고.
아 경호 형
판단 좋고.
판단 안 좋아.
야.